Hey everyone, it's your girl, the Hidden Lovr, and I'm here with another episode of Nighttime with a Goddess. Tonight, before I start, I want to definitely give a shout out to Sparksofallure. As you see, they put me in a new room, so you know what I'm saying, I got a new feel for the show, as well as shout out to Hidden Man Productions for shooting all these videos and helping me get this podcast really going and off the ground. So with that being said, the topic I've decided to talk about today is basically us going against each other. And what I mean by us, I'm talking about black men and black women blaming each other instead of us realizing we are both the problem. It's so easy for us as a people to point the finger at the other side, to say, well, the problem with the kids is because the black woman, and the problem with the kids is because of the black man. But if you understand, everything that has been put here by God is in pairs. He made a man and a woman who can't procreate without each other. Yin and a yang, duality. Black and white, duality. Light and dark, duality. Masculine, feminine, duality. Two. Everything takes two, so you can't blame one when the whole is not a whole. And this been touching me like literally all year. And I was really supposed to talk about this a couple of weeks ago, but myself, I felt like I just wasn't in the mindset to do it. So I'm in the mindset tonight. So I'm really starting to dig into this, because us as black people, we often try to understand what's wrong with our race, what's wrong with our culture, and why we're not progressing or growing as a group, as a conscious collective. And one of the main reasons is most of us lack self-love. And that's the true nature of why our generation is the way it is. Because if you cannot love each other, we cannot have black love, which is a man and a woman with melanin loving each other, if you don't love yourself first. Because when you love yourself, you're going to love your race. And when you love yourself, you're going to understand and start learning about the things that we went through, the things our ancestors went through, the things that help us grow, ascend, and educate ourselves as a person. And as you learn that self-love in you also increases. And as that increases, you're able to give it to others. And you start understanding and viewing the world in a different place. And you start realizing that the things that are happening to us is not by us. It was meant to be like that. Because see, nowadays we've gotten so comfortable that we think that we are free, and we have become complacent. What really in reality is, we're in worse slavery now than we were when we were in chains. The easiest way to make someone do what you want them to do is to make them think they're free, but you're controlling their mind, you're controlling their thoughts. And that's what we have today. Most people are in mental jails and don't even realize it. Most people are in mental slavery and don't even realize it. And people who get ahead don't realize they're pawns, and they're not really ahead, but they're just here to help hinder the people that's coming underneath them, because they choose to be gatekeepers instead of gateways and allow people to come behind so we can all grow. Instead, they get ahead and they want to block other people that look like them, because they don't want to lose what they have, not realizing they don't have anything. And that's one of our biggest things. We don't come together. The few that have don't want to help the ones that don't. And you don't understand. We're not in competition with each other. Because one thing you must know is, when you're doing something, everybody is unique. So even if we're doing the same exact thing, we're never going to do it the same exact way. So you're only in competition with yourself. So you helping somebody else or giving somebody else information doesn't take from you. If anything, it gives to us. Think every other race, when they immigrate here or they come here, they employ their own kind. That's how they're able to build. We're the ones, we don't want to give our own people jobs. We talk about our own people. We'll go into a black business and talk and say, hey, they got bad customer service and la da 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 da. And you can go to one that's even worse than your own race, but you'll keep giving them your money. But you'll go in that black business one time and talk about a dog for the rest of their life, for the rest of your life. We go against each other. It's like we have been nurtured or conditioned to keep beating on each other. We have been nurtured or conditioned to constantly put each other down. And so instead of us trying to find a way to fix each other and try to fix ourselves so that we can fix each other, we play the blame game, and then we just tear each other down. And then it's like, well, nothing ever happens. But what does happen is, everybody that comes from our tree everybody that comes from our lineage, everybody that comes from our bloodline behind it, everybody who has to stand on our shoulders, they're falling because they don't have no roots to stand on. And that's our job. This time right now is a time of generational curse breakers across the board. God has been pouring out into a lot of people in this time, in the age of Aquarius, in this time, because it's time for us to take our power back and understand that power is within us. Nobody can take your power, nobody can take your freedom, because that is a state of mind, that is a state of being, that's a state of existence. Yes, somebody can restrict you, but they cannot take they can't give you. And understand, once we grow that love, and once we understand that we are not only free from each other, we're free from ourselves. And one of the biggest things is people talk about self-love, and people often confuse self-love with self-care. Those are two completely different things. You can have self-care. Yeah, I can rest. I can go and get my hair and nails done. That's self-care. I make sure I look good. That's self-care. But see, understanding self-love is also being free from other people's thoughts and opinions. Self-love is a divine love between you and your creator, between you and the Most High, between you and God, or whoever you worship. Self-love is also loving all the pieces of you, and loving it so much that you heal those pieces of you that are broken. When you look in that mirror, or when you reflect on yourself and you understand that what you are ain't what you think you are. That's self-love, fixing those things and understanding that it's a lifelong process, but you get better with it every day. And you're not afraid to face it. And you're not afraid to take accountability. And you're not afraid to say, hey, I'm not right, or I'm not at the place I need to be, but I'm taking it step by step every day to get there. Those are the things that encompass self-love. Self-care is just covering everything up and walking out the house saying I'm good. And that's kind of what I wanted to touch on today, is because I feel like if we stop pointing and we stop blaming each other, and we start encompassing that self-love, if we start encompassing accountability, if we start encompassing putting the onus on ourselves, it has to spread. Because if everybody starts putting the onus on themselves, you start realizing, hey, I can change what I can change. I can change what I can change. And that stuff becomes contagious and multiply. And we can start reversing hundreds of thousands of years, literally, of things that has been done. Because it goes back way further than what's happened in America. And that's my talk for the day. As I always say, love and light. Y'all have a good night.